everybody? Welcome to another great episode of Dit Sports.
Yeah, we all fired up.
This is a good day to be a Rockies fan, I'll tell you that. I mean, not that we lose our pretty much one of our best players in franchise history. Hopefully there's still a chance that we might be able to put the retirement of his number because he deserves to be up there, even though if he doesn't even end anywhere near, back here in his career. But, I mean, like I said, I think he's 8-time Gold Glove, Platinum winner, Silver Slugger Award. So, I mean, I know everything's kind of fresh and raw right now, but hopefully, through the owners and whoever makes that call, that they retire that number up there because
do something right.
It totally needs to be up there. So that's all I'm saying because I'm not sure if we'll see ever a better player than that coming through this organization.
Well,
currently or in the future, because the way it sounds today,
I was gonna say
they're gonna be a nail in a lot of coffins with this of any type of future excitement or positivity around this organization. So they pretty much, if you have one of those Mr. Rogers clown masks, that would have been the owner. Putting that on today because a way to put a freshly squeezed lemon salt in somebody's wound, then coming out with to have the balls to come out and have a press conference stating what you did after gouging everybody with the best player and sending them off to St. Louis for nothing, and then come out and you're going to have a press conference with your GM. To tell this is what we're whatever. I don't even know why they even had like I said, it boggles my mind. Mm-hmm. Why would you even have a press conference? But
yeah, I can understand Arenado having one, but
yeah,
definitely not them. Like why would you want to come out and explain that?
Yeah.
Right.
There is no explanation, and anyone you give, no one's going to want to hear it. So you're just asking to get torched for one, and for two, it just doesn't make a lot of sense anyways, because, like I said, nobody's going to want to hear because you've seen it before.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to tell us that was different than last time?
Yeah, and especially if all day's Groundhog Day, keep your ass in the hole. We don't need to hear from you, and we don't need this recurring nightmare on Groundhog Day, right?
Right.
Like the Bill Murray movie. Let's relive it. No, you've already,
put us through enough.
Yeah, put us through enough pain and misery, not to come out here and then go, oh, yip-de-doo. Look at what we did. It's just horrible. I know you guys actually watched a little bit of the press conference. Have a little thoughts on it.
You want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, you want to talk about balls as well. Some of the things that he decided to mention in that, were pretty ballsy as well. He outright, flat out said during the video, we don't really have any interest, or we don't really have any plans to bring in any high caliber free agents. And then he listed the example of, what was the guy's name? That was just recently in the free agency market. I don't think it was Holiday, but it was somebody that's currently available. And he said, we're not really making any plans to bring in any high-tier free agents at all. That's essentially what he said. He said, we have no plans to do that. So essentially what that means is, hopefully you draft well because, he's not...
No, and he even backed that up by saying, we're a mid-market team. And so we're not interested in bringing in high-priced talent, is basically what he said.
Yeah, so essentially, if it doesn't make dollars, doesn't make sense. Pretty much was the standpoint that he took. And he may have also been referring to the fact that being a mid-market team, maybe not being a high destination, it might be more difficult than other teams have at bringing people in anyways. But regardless, he didn't exactly... clarify that. He basically just came out with the blanket statement of, we're not interested in bringing in any high caliber talent.
No.
So that was just like, I mean, me and Dad were listening to it at breakfast, and we were both looking at each other like, did we hear that correctly? I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
I mean, it's one thing for all the fans to know it. I mean, it's not a surprise at this point. It's like I said before, Groundhog Day. You've seen this story multiple times, but to actually hear the owner literally say what he said today, I was like, wow. I mean, hello, Doug Peterson of the MLB. But then, it wasn't even just that, you know. There was times during the interview where he was talking about, I think, you know, with a little bit of improvement to the pitching, last year's team really could have done something and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, how many years have the fans and people that are rooting for them been saying that if we just had some pitching, we might be able to do something? This isn't new. This has been the issue in Colorado for a while now. So for you to say that is like, well, it's nice to bring light to that, but when are we going to actually see you do that kind of stuff? Then he was also talking about, we had one of the better infields in the league, and we really like how we have this and that and the other thing. And then he's also talking about, with the guys that we got in the outfield and the young talent and all of these things, we really felt like we had a great chance last year and really kind of underperformed and things like that. And the whole time, basically, that I was sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, you sure have a weird way of showing it. Because if you're as close as he seemed to be acting like throughout the thing, why would you go and trade your best player? I mean, you just don't do that. Especially when he had more than this year on his deal. I mean, he still had 2 years left. So it's not even like, this was a contract year, and if we don't get rid of him, he's going to leave for free or something. He still had years left on his deal.
Well, he still left for free.
Well, yeah, no, but
they paid $50 million to have him.
No, but
actually cost some more.
No, but I mean, ideally though, I could maybe understand that a little bit better. But he was literally sitting there talking about all this stuff about how close they were and how he really felt like the team underperformed and the management or whatever maybe didn't do their job that would have propelled them to the next level. And all the while, this is after you just let go of your best player. Mm-hmm. What are you thinking? Why would you come out and say these kind of things, talking about how close you were last year when you just made this move? Are you wanting to get torched? I mean, I'm just saying. Are you wanting that to happen? I mean, if I'm him, you already know the scrutiny is there. Because,
exactly.
Look at the history. And making a move like this, even the best organization in baseball, might have some people scratching their heads and questioning, let alone one that sucked for a while. I mean, just being honest. Mm-hmm. I mean, they made it to the playoffs the last few years or whatever, but overall haven't had a lot of success. So, you already are highly scrutinized. Why would you put yourself in a position where you're even being interviewed today, like he said? Why would you even do that? And then to come out here the next day, not even a week later, the next day, talking about all the potential that team had when you just traded the potential as well as made a horrible decision in what you gave up for him. I mean, you would almost think that they were itching to get rid of him and that the Cardinals were the ones that were sending the player or something. You would think the roles were reversed. Not that the Rockies had the player that they were interested in, but the Cardinals, with how much the Rockies were giving away, you would think they were getting a better player than Arenado. But they got a bunch of nothing. So to literally not even a week later, the next day, to come out with the statements that he made this morning and to paint the picture that you guys were so close, and if you just had pitching and this, that, and the other thing, you would have made it, is a slap in the face as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's just disgusting. And then to sit there and say, we don't have any, on top of getting rid of our best player and, we were so close, but, we still could be close, but guess what? We have no plans to bring in any high-priced talent. Mm-hmm. We're content with just building through the draft, which, again, we've seen that cycle before, too. Because guess what? Building through the draft doesn't do you anything when they get to the end of their contracts, they go elsewhere. You're never going to stop building through the draft if every time their contract year comes, you're trying to trade them, which seems to be what they do as well. I mean, I know Arenado lasted longer than probably a lot of these guys have, but nonetheless, he got traded anyways. So what the hell, this is the difference. But horrible timing, horrible decision-making, horrible front ownership, and just horrible everything with this, just kicked in the nuts and, and then dumped a beer on you with the press conference that happened today. Because he essentially just said, not only did we feel we were close and we know what the problems are, that's the other thing. He literally said, we know what the problems are. So that tells you that they know what the problems were and had no interest in fixing them either. No. So when you're addressing the problems and doing nothing about it, on top of saying how close you are when you just traded away the best player, and then making statements like, oh, by the way, with all that, guess what? We're not doing anything to prevent to get better in the future because we have no interest in bringing anybody worth noting into this city. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? You just basically said, buff you. We're going to suck. Have fun. Come to the games. That's literally what that was. Mm-hmm. No. Have fun coming to the games because we're not going to win. But hopefully you guys can, enjoy not making the playoffs and having September off or whatever, because you won't have to worry about watching the World Series. Yeah. You'll be doing it from the PlayStation, if anything. Mm-hmm. So that was just horrible all around. And like I said, it couldn't, like Stephen A. Smith said, couldn't that have waited till February 3rd? Can we just have a day? Couldn't that have waited till next week? It's just like a mishmash of just awful crap, and PTSD from Doug Peterson all around for me.
I was just going to say, it was real reminiscent of Doug Peterson to me, like when he came out and said, we're
coaching to win.
No, we need to establish the running game a little bit more when he's the guy calling the plays. Yep. I mean, it's real reminiscent to me of that. Yeah. Where he said, oh yeah, all we needed is some pitching. And, well, you're the guy fucking bringing the pitching in. Mm-hmm. So whose fault is that, right?
Yeah. And they've had some decent pitching in the past, and those guys, they let go, too. Not too many like, oh my God, this guy is unbelievable. No. But, there's been some that at least had some promise, and it's like, well, okay, bye. So
it's a sad state of affairs. Like Don said, to even come out and put this out there, you're just looking to get ran over by a bus. Let's face it. Yeah. Any respect that anybody would have had for him is now gone. And there probably wasn't a whole lot that had it in the first place. Yeah. Because
especially after the news yesterday.
Right. Like, the way he came out today, it was almost like, one of the reporters flat blank asked him something like, hey, how do you feel about the fans wanting some ownership change here? And he's like, oh, I bet you'd love that. He flat out come out and said that. Yep. Like, I bet you'd love that, wouldn't you? So that just tells you, like, he already knows that. Mm-hmm. It was already there before this even took place. Mm-hmm. The frustration level amongst the fans and whatever has already reached that point prior to when Arenado was even dealt. Right? Mm-hmm. Apparently.
No, exactly.
Because, it wasn't like this guy wasn't standing there, like he already knew all the bullets were coming. But his answers for stuff were just like mind-blowing to me, like to say, we're not interested in bringing any high-priced talent in here. We're a mid-market team, and it doesn't make financial sense. And, as soon as I heard those words, it's goodbye. Mm-hmm. Then you need to sell the team. Because, any fans that are ticket holders right now that heard that press conference should be calling them up saying, fuck, I'm done.
Yep.
We don't even root for the Rockies.
Or make me a deal. Or make me a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't even root for the Rockies. We just, root for him because he likes them. But apart from that, we don't really have a rooting interest, and we couldn't believe it. No. We were disgusted over the whole thing. We couldn't believe. We were sitting there like, did he really just say that?
I was like, what? Did he just say what I think he said?
Yeah.
I mean,
And I mean, again, like going into this season, I mean, it already felt like a kick in the nuts that he's still there. You know, I mean, because a lot of people, I mean, what has he done since he's been there? Nothing good. So the fact that he's still there is, you know, enough to irk a lot of people. And then to turn around and make the statements. I mean, he was acting as if this was the day after the season. I mean, if this was like, you know, the next day after the season ended and you said, you know, I feel like we have some areas that need fixing, but I saw some promising things going into next season that if we could work on, we could maybe do something better. I mean, I could maybe understand that. But this is, you know, well into the off season after you just traded your best player. Why are you now talking this? And I mean, I understand he can't control what they ask him, but he definitely, it seemed like that direction was taking place every single time they asked him a question. Was, oh, well, let's talk about what happened last season and how close we were and how good, you know, the young prospects are and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, dude, people don't give a crap about last season when one of the biggest reasons that last season was good is now gone for nothing. If anything, we got freaking, you know, raped by it. So we don't give a crap about last season and how close we were. If we were that close,
And it wasn't even close. I mean, you weren't competing with the Dodgers. You weren't competing with the Padres.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
You know,
too.
you were barely enough to be the third team in the division because Arizona was really bad, and you know, and it's just like,
well, and that's the other thing.
Are you kidding me? You know, to come out here and actually say that. I mean, again, to me, it seems like this guy was totally peacocking. You know, throwing his feathers around. You know, with the, you know, of course, his name is Dick. You know, Monfort. So you know, I expect to be a peacock. You know, in there somewhere. But to come out here and, you know, good thing, you know, cannabis is legal in Denver because apparently this guy's smoking a lot of it. Because what the hell do you come out here and say, oh, yeah, we're really close? You ain't even fucking close. You're not even near close.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you're not in contention with the Dodgers. You're now getting your ass handed to you by the Padres because they just went leaps and bounds ahead of you. I mean, they went to the NLCS to play the Dodgers. Mm-hmm. Which they almost won. I mean, they were right in there with it. If they had their pitching, which of course, what did they do? They couldn't get pitching because that was the thing that hurt them in the NLCS. So what did they do? They fixed the problem. What does this asshole do? Oh no, I'm going to cut prices. What the hell are you doing? I mean, this isn't fucking Walmart. This is a fucking great value team right now.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to sit here and tell me that, you know, oh, we're going to do this. You already told us that we've already been losing. Now you're going to tell me you're going to tank into the abyss. And good luck. Come on out and enjoy the ball game.
Yeah.
You know,
all three of you.
Yeah, you can go out. You can go up to the rooftop and get a nice view, drink some beers,
enjoy the fountains.
But yeah, I mean, it's just completely just a bunch of crap. And then, like I said, the city of Denver's put more money into that area. Because again, that should have been the centerpiece of that plaza. Now it's the plaza, and then oh yeah, by the way, there's the Rockies. So it's just totally asinine backwards. And it would be great if you actually had confidence in them if this is the plan that they're going to do. But now you don't even have confidence in that because guess what? You've thrown away everything that you've had before. I mean, you've had Arenado, you've had Story, you've got these kids that have gone through the farm system. What do?
Yep.
Get rid of them, right? And again, you're gonna have to be really lucky now to catch lightning in a bottle. You're gonna have to be the mid-'90s Cleveland Indians. You're gonna have to be this year's Devil Rays. You're gonna have to be the Kansas City Royals from a few years ago, where you better hope everything that you touch and everything goes in the same cycle as far as age, and they all come up at the same time and do something. Because if they don't, guess what happens? Oh, that guy looks good. Let's trade him. Let's get rid of him. We can get some draft picks for him. Oh, let's get him. It's got to be all at once or nothing. And that's completely difficult, unreasonably difficult to do. There's no way to do it. And then you're not even going to fill in additional pieces if you are close because you don't want to afford your bottom line. Screw this guy. I mean, again, I hope everybody doesn't go to the games tonight. But again, this guy's from northern Colorado. This guy's been in the area for 20. He's owned the team for 20 plus years. But hopefully somebody gets right in the wall. Either they buy him out, or everybody just fucking, put some financial ruin into him, because this is ridiculous to do this. He has the biggest stadium in all of baseball. He gets the most fans. You see attendance records go out through the window, and that's when they even are losing.
Yeah, no kidding.
And when they're winning, it's up to the rafters and outside.
Yep.
But he thinks, there's, these people are stupid enough that they'll just show up just to be there. No, they're not going to just show up to be there. Eventually, people are going to say, "Screw you," and I hope it's this year. And I know it's going to be several players are going to say, "Screw you." I don't see Trevor Story being around. I see Charlie Blackmon getting out of there. Because again, the guy pulls the L.A. Rams thing, right? Well, they asked him in the press conference, right? Or do you think Trevor Story is going to be around for the end of the year? And then, and what is the answer? Well, as of right now. So you know what that means?
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Because again, he's going to be too much. Apparently, again, this guy wants to pull the money ball thing, and he thinks he's going to do it, on a couple of nickels, and he's going to win the whole thing. It's like, dude, it doesn't work that way. Like I said, very rare. I mean, 5% chance maybe.
This guy doesn't have any.
And like I said, and he thinks it's like, oh yeah, we're really good. You're not close, guys. You need 4 starters, you need 1 or 2 aces, and you need a bullpen. You have none of that.
Yeah.
You have no aces. You have barely a couple 3s and 4 starters, which are your 1 and 2s that you throw out there. So then your 3, 4, and 5s are just complete garbage. You had one of the best defenses in baseball because, again, did he forget he let go of DJ Mayhew? Story's there and Arenado. And then they had, Murphy's gone now because he was there but he wasn't a great defensive man. But again, you'll look at the big free agent contracts that they signed. There was Wade Davis. He never blew a save as a Cub. X, Y, and Z. Well, what does he do to Colorado? He blows like 20 of them. Murphy goes there. He gets banged up. Doesn't pull in a full season. They signed Ian Desmond. What a trash signing that was. Didn't even show up at all. Didn't even play like he did at Texas. Gone. So again, it goes to GM, scouting, everything that's with it. Why sign these players? Questionable. Give me the sure thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, go out and get a marketable free agent. Get them. Don't sit here and go, well, this guy could.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but how many seasons did he put in a good performance? Oh, half a year or 1 year. No, I want a guy that's like Arenado, right? Every year he's been there. This year's been different because it was the whole COVID thing, but every year before when he's had a spring training and a full season, guess what? 280 plus, 40 homers, almost 100 RBI, right? Just boom, boom, consistently.
Yep.
Every year. And then what are you going to do? Oh, we're going to throw guesswork at it.
Yeah. And then
doesn't work.
And then talk about how close you are. In the meantime, the worst part of it is you traded to a team. I'll tell you who's close. The Cardinals now.
Yeah.
But
they're always in it.
Yeah, exactly.
But that tells you the mark of a good franchise. Because guess what? Well, we need to add a piece. They added a piece and they got money for it.
Yeah.
And by trading away nothing.
Yeah.
Mid to low level prospects.
Yep.
For
a known commodity who wants to play for you.
For a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
You know what I mean? It's just like, what are you doing? So again, now you just add that right to their roster. I'm sure the Cardinals will be fine because, again, this puts them right at the top of the Central now.
Yeah.
Because with the Cubs down decline, the Brewers have been flat, and the Pirates and the Reds are coming up, but the Pirates are at the bottom. It's the Cardinals division now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and then the other thing that was frustrating about it is the whole time he was trying to defend it and say like, oh, well, we wouldn't have signed Arenado to another contract. He's coming on a 4-year deal or whatever. We wouldn't have signed him to that contract if we didn't have any intentions in winning anything. It's like, well, that's funny that you should say that because why did you sign him to a 4-year deal if you don't have plans to keep him past 2?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one trading him. So, and with what they gave up, the Rockies I'm talking about, you would think they could not wait to get rid of him. They were practically begging the Cardinals to say, please take him off our hands, please. So why are you going to sit here and, I mean, he said it, don't you remember? More than one occasion he was talking about, well, you know, we signed a guy like Blackmon and we signed a guy like Arenado to these contracts and stuff. So we would have never done that if we didn't have intentions in winning.
Well,
And it's like, well,
yeah, well, that was the thing when he signed the contract, and Arenado even stated it. It's like, I'll sign here, but you got to make an effort to bring a championship or, you know, performance.
Yep.
That we're actually a consistent winner. That's what we need. Well, how are you going to do that? Get pitching, because that's the big problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just unbelievable. And guess what they did? They didn't do squat. They brought in lesser players, and then they just dwindled in the win, right? And so what are you going to do as Arenado? Well, I'm getting the hell out of here, because obviously you don't care. I want to win.
Yep.
You know, and then they're making no effort to do that.
No.
You're either going to help me by giving me a team here, or you're going to trade me to a team where I can.
Yeah.
That's essentially.
No, which, like I said, I have no fault with Arenado what he did. Because, again, false promises. Obviously, as you can tell by their press conference, a lot of false promises.
Yeah.
Just like they said. So it's just unbelievable that the audacity of these owners and GM to sit here and go, oh, yeah, you know, they're like playing the victims. Like, oh, yeah, we can't believe. No, you guys screwed it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's the time true thing that you always see on Dent Sports and Tuned In Sports.
Mm-hmm.
Bad ownership equals bad teams every time.
Yep.
And this is a proof of it. I mean, they're even saying one tweet here. It says, if it wasn't clear a year ago, a month ago, or even a day ago, I think after this press conference, it's pretty clear that the Rockies are the most poorly run organization in baseball, and it has been for a while. Completely true.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. I'm sitting there going, can we sign a pitcher? Any pitcher? Never. So again, it's just unbelievable the audacity of this group. So again, we're just going to be in the toilet, and we'll be at the bottom of the NL West for eons now, and we're just going to enjoy Oakland A's baseball because it's the same thing. It's going to be shoestring budget, and if anybody gets good, they're going to trade them. And it'll start the cycle of doing our rebuild.
And then hear about how close you were.
Well, at least from this guy, yeah. We were really close to 60 wins this year.
It's amazing to me that
62 and 100.
It's amazing to me that the league would even allow this type of mindset to be put in place. To me, I mean, you know, like we talked about with the football, like if you're in top 5 picks in the draft, you know, 3 years or 5 years in a row or something, you get fined. Well, I mean, the Rockies have not been that bad. Like,
No.
they've been competitive.
That's because they've had actually players, right?
Right.
The offensive part has not been the question.
Yeah.
No.
It's always been pitching.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is that for him to come out and make the statements that he made today, I mean, that goes directly into what we're just talking about with that football stuff. To me, for the league to not have a problem with him coming out and saying that blows my mind. If I'm the fucking commissioner, I'm calling him up right after that press conference is over.
But I don't see it, though, because they're like, well, we don't care. It's just another team. But, hey, look at the Cardinals, because that's one of their boys, right? The Cardinals are going to be one of their teams, right? Their historic teams, St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
The two birds on the bat. Nobody cares. Hey, Cardinals are really good. Let's roll them out there for 30 nights on Sunday Night Baseball during the summer. You know, they don't care. Colorado, they're like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like watching the Rays, the Royals.
Right, but
you know
I mean,
for all these years, nobody cares about them. They're just the team,
league,
right?
The league should care because it's a product of the league. Like the league as a whole should be good, should be competitive from top to bottom.
Well, if that was the case, they would have free agency, right? They would have salary cap. They don't.
No,
because all they care about is Yankees, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cardinals. You know, Cubs if they ever get good every once in a while. You know.
Yeah.
You know, big markets, right? That's all they care about. Everybody else, you're just extras in the show.
you're just along for the ride.
Yeah. So again, that's the reason why these guys can have this mindset of like, well, we could be really good and spend a lot of money and try to do this thing, or we could just suck and just rolling the dough, right? You know, doing the Jets thing, the Browns thing normally.
Yeah.
You know, we're here for the draft choices. Watch us on draft day. And that's about the only time you see them.
That's the only time we're going to be the most talked about team in the league.
Yeah, it just makes my, blood boil that this has happened. But again, it's expected, right? This is what, mid market teams do, right? They're usually never in it, They're usually sellers, right? It's just awful, right? And unfortunately, I think in baseball, and this is another reason why they're losing a lot of market share, is because of this shit like this.
Yeah. No, it's
because
ridiculous.
why would I want to go to a ball game to watch trash? And 3/4 of the team in baseball are trash. If you look at it,
yeah.
I mean, you just name them all, right? Seattle's horrible. Toronto's horrible.
Right.
I'm just saying, but that was the same thing though. At least they went all in and actually tried to do something. But then guess what? I mean, again, that's the mind-blowing thing. You have Verlander, you have Scherzer, you have blah, blah. I mean, they had the team. That's the reason they were in the World Series, right? And then guess what happens? As soon as the little first part goes wonky, look, start dumping them.
Yeah.
And then there's nobody left. And then they suck.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is where we are now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And again, guess what happens, right? Everybody's seeing, the Twins have done this. Well, the Twins, again, what do? Suck forever, and now they have some young kids, right?
Yeah.
And they're building up and all this. But again, guess what happens? I'm thinking same thing with Minnesota. As soon as the first whiff of able to get rid of people, it's going to happen. And then they'll go right back to the bottom again. And they'll be the same old sucky Twins.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just infuriating to do this, but it is what it is. I mean, even the Red Sox, even had to do this thing, because why would you get rid of Mookie Betts? Why?
Yeah.
And where does he go? To the Dodgers. It's unbelievable, But hey, at least he went. At least they sent him to the National League instead of keeping him inside your your league, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll just be there for the Sports Center highlights to watch how far people hit the baseball now, and that's going to be about our highlight, for the next 5 years, for sure. And
There won't be any highlights of any high price talent. That's for sure.
No, and the way Dick's going here, it's going to be
No.
it's going to be even worse for the next several years. So
The best thing that could happen is if he sold the team.
yeah.
That would be
Which,
the best
from the
thing
way
could
that
happen.
he was acting throughout the thing, I mean, he almost made it.
Well, no,
seem
he's
like-
at the point because again, he's so freaking delusional that he thinks people are going to come and see this stuff. In which most of the time he's right, because they're dumb enough to go, well, we got nothing else to do out here today. Let's go watch a game. But the problem is if the people of Denver would actually get smart and say, hell no, we ain't going to see this crap. Maybe he'll get a clue that maybe things aren't right and you should do a better job at this.
Yep.
Yeah.
But as long as he keeps collecting a check and counts the money, whatever he does, he's going to be fine. But until the ownership changes, this isn't going to change.
No.
Nope.
That's for sure.
And if it was, we would have seen it by now.
Well, no, like I said, it's just built on, again, it's his delusional statements today are just on par of like, are you really in touch with your team? Do you even know what's going on in between those walls? Because obviously he doesn't.
Right.
Because he's sitting there going, we're really close. And again, like I said, Charlie Blackmon, the Trevor Stories are sitting here going, probably at home going, what the hell did he just do? He just got rid of the best player that we have on our team. And he thinks everything's fine. I mean, it's like Nero watching Rome burn. Yeah, everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yep.
And then, like I say, I've told you guys that if I'm Blackmon and if I'm Story, I'm calling my agent. It would have been today, and say, how fast can you get me out of here? Or start, putting out feelers.
Yep.
And saying, hey, how can I get out of this city? Because this ship's sinking.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And like I said, I mean, Story has the numbers to back it up a lot more, but Blackmon does too. But we'll see what happens. I mean, again, if I'm sitting here as one of the other teams, I'm salivating because I can get freaking good players. Obviously, I can get them for cheap.
Hell, we'll even pay him to take it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, my first thing is if I need a shortstop, if I need a shortstop, I'm taking it right now. You know, I'm calling to say, hey, why don't you give me a Golden Glove and a batting championship and a guy that can hit dingers? Hell yes. What do you guys want for him? Want 2 or 3 mid-level?
No, we'll give you a deal. You can just pay me $25 million to take him.
Yeah.
Instead of $50.
Yeah, give me 10. We'll do it. Because again, he's sitting to the point because he's at the end of his contract. So again, if you're close to a pennant or something that's with it, rent a shortstop if you needed it. Here it is, and he'll plug right into your 4-hole.
Yep.
And crank out some homers and steal some bases and play hell defense.
Yeah, play Golden Glove defense for you.
Yeah, and so it's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and if you're
the Braves, if you're, you know what I mean. You know, but I think the Braves have one. But there's the thing I was talking about too. Even if you have second base open, what's the hurt? Put him at second base.
Yeah, no, he could play it.
You know what I mean? It's just a little bit different for him. Probably learn a little bit of footwork, but guess what? You put another Golden Glove out there and another 40 homers and 300 batting average. Just add him to the lineup, and then as soon as his year's over, then let him go free agency.
Yeah.
Unless he does a really bang up job, then
you can afford it.
Then you can afford to sign him.
Yeah.
To whatever his market value is, but I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just really frustrating. It's just unbelievable. I mean, it would have been like Theo Epstein going, let's get rid of Baez. Rizzo next. What would the Cubs add? Nothing, and they would have went right to the bottom.
Yeah.
Because that would have sold their pieces out right from underneath them. But they did it right. They went and got Lester, and they have Rizzo, and they had Baez, Contreras. They had pieces, right? They had the offense. It was just keeping it there and then putting in some pitching. Right. I mean, they went out and got Chapman, even though he didn't do too much at the end. But during the summer months and into the fall, again, you put a 100-mile-an-hour reliever, you're going to be all right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I said, it's just very frustrating to actually have an ownership to actually just tell you straight up, yep, we're going to tank.
This is what it is.
We're tanking. Good luck.
We don't have any interest in any high-priced talent.
Well, and I mean, like we said, it's one thing, even as a fans, it's like, Jesus, how disheartening is this? But if you're playing on the team listening to that, say, oh, we have no interest in bringing anybody good over here because it doesn't make sense financially. Well, then what am I doing here?
Yeah.
If it's not to win, what am I doing here?
Well, another thing is, like you said, like the Story thing. It's not their interest to do it, so you think they're going to give them a reasonable contract to sign on for 4 years or 5 years?
Hell no.
No, because, again, they're not going to pay anything.
No.
So what does that tell me to do? I better start looking, get my ass out of here. And you can't tell me that nobody else that's a veteran inside that locker room is not talking to the other vets and going, guys, we need to get the hell out of this place.
Yeah.
I'm not having my name attached to this any longer. Yeah.
No.
I agree.
The only ones that are going to be there are going to be the rookies, right? And the young guys or people that need a freaking job. And those are the only ones that are going to stay. Everybody else that's worth a damn.
Because they don't have any other options.
Yeah, because everybody else that's worth a darn is going to go,
why would I go here?
bye.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel bad for the guy.
I mean, none of the pitchers, of course, but
I feel bad for the guy coaching this team.
but Bud Black's put in a asinine position.
Yeah, I mean, and he's actually done a yeoman's effort.
No, he's done a great job because, again, no pitching, and he was a pitcher, so he knows.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for him because he's going to be dealt the shit hand.
Yep.
And
no, he'll be the first one to get sacrificed. It won't be Bridich. It won't be this a-hole Dick.
Yeah.
It won't be Dick the owner. It'd be the typical thing, right? Just like you said the other night to me. Oh, hey, we fired the manager. See, we're doing things. Come on out to the yard. Bring out this new manager. We're gonna paint the walls another different color. Hey, look at this. And then next would be what? The manager and the GM are gone. Hey, look.
Yeah.
You know,
Come
look,
on.
we got new manager, or new GM. We're gonna put some more talent out there, and this coach knows how to coach them up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's the same thing. When it's the owner should be the one that should be gone.
Yep. And you're never going to get a manager that is realistically coming in there wanting to turn it around because he knows he'll never be able to with a statement that was made today. I mean, you're not bringing in any players for him to work with, then
No.
you're not going to improve ever.
Or
so,
at least you have a commitment to winning.
yeah.
That's like you said. That's the same with Mattingly with the Marlins.
Mhm.
I mean, there's no way, because again that one was in the toilet too.
Yeah.
The Marlins was, but guess what? They got Jeter as the ownership, and then guess what he did? Okay, we got to clear the books. Now let's start drafting kids, and they've got drafting. Now what? What does the Marlins got? Right? They went to the playoffs. They actually won a series.
Yeah, against us.
Yeah. So then what does that do to people? They go, oh, hey, they got something maybe going on over there. So what does that do? That attracts talent, right? And then just as long as Jeter and the group can go, we can write a check, and that gets more people, involved in it. Like, oh, hey, that's a big splash signing, and all this stuff, and then everybody else wants to come there. Like, oh, hey, that'd be kind of fun, to play down there. But until that time,
Yeah.
it's gonna suck.
It's depressing. I mean, but I've lived it with the Lions. It's been the same shit show for years like that. Or always get rid of anybody that's any good, usually for nothing.
Yep.
We had defensive captains walk out and get traded away for nothing. Don't even receive any compensation whatsoever. Like, no, we're just cutting him.
Yeah.
He's going to go sign with the Seahawks. Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Fucking captain of the defense. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, like you
Hey.
said, like you said before, they're either getting them for free or they're getting them for 7-rounders.
Or they're paying them to go.
And it's like, what the hell's that? But again, that's what you want, And again, like I said, it's unbelievable that I'd be a shark circling around the tank, waiting for like, oh, hey, who are you gonna drop? Who are you gonna drop?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
We don't have to give you anything, and we'll make a deal.
Yeah.
literally.
No, exactly. When Bob Quinn got in there for the Lions, you notice how the fucking Patriots were circling the tank all the fucking time. Who can we pick up today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, like I said, they got that guy, got a Pro Bowl linebacker
Yep.
Literally.
Thanks, Detroit.
for nothing.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, and then they send all the cast-offs back to them for something too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Oh yeah, we can make this guy serviceable. You bet.
Yeah. Amendola, you want him? Huh?
Yeah, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
Look what he's done for us.
Danny Shelton, yeah, he's wonderful.
Yeah. So again, it's just
years
sickening, and unfortunately, yeah. Again, we're circling the toilet now,
Yep.
with a lot of other floaters, So nice thing about it, we're not the only ones in the tank, but the smell's not too good. So brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
So
And basically every one of my teams is in that fucking spot. I mean, the Red Wings are there right now. I mean, the Tigers are there.
yeah,
The Pistons are there. I mean, it's just horrible.
yeah, it's brutal.
I mean,
Yeah, because again, you just don't have. You're like, everybody else gets the feeling of, oh, a new season, and you're just gonna, oh, great, new season, we're gonna suck again, and then as soon as it goes south in the first 2 weeks, you're already hitting the, oh, here we go again,
Yeah.
And it's just no good, and then unfortunately, like I said, that's happening every time a new sport comes.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, well, this is not fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even to spring training, and this took the wind out of the sails for this season already, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, no, like I said the other day, it's like he's in the Grapefruit League, so we can't even go down to Arizona to watch him, if I wanted to. Now he's in the Grapefruit League in Florida because he's with the Cardinals. So, and it's
That's
just
horrible.
It's just like, man, this isn't even fun to enjoy this, but again, it is what it is, and there's a lot of fans that are out. I mean, like you said, Lions, Jets. I mean,
hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run them up.
Knicks. I mean, with that, but again, I mean, it's just everywhere you go.
Yeah. Every league has its teams.
Yeah,
The Senators
yeah.
in hockey. All of them.
Yeah, and even
Sabres.
yeah, and then even with not that, then you're just like you said, you're just watching anybody that's worth a darn go.
Yeah. And then watching.
Yeah, this guy's gonna be a nice player when he grows up on another team.
Yeah.
And then watching them take people that are doing a decent job take the fall for the real problems.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, like I said, it just happens. You got to have the
Jim Schwartz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. There's a perfect example.
Yeah.
We're actually winning games. Whoop!
Yeah.
Gotta get rid of that guy. What the fuck are we thinking?
Yeah, exactly. That's
what the
that's
fuck
the worst.
are you thinking?
That's like the ultimate one. That's with it. I mean,
Hey, we made
because
the
again, you've been
playoffs.
starving so long for playoffs, and then
Maybe
you actually
2 out
get
of-
into it and be actually consistent of getting
2 out of 3 years we make the playoffs.
yeah. Well, above 500,
What the
right?
fuck are you thinking? Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Above 500, which is the first step, right? Because you don't even get to 500 usually.
Yeah.
Then you get to above 500, and then, yeah, it was like you said. Because again, what did the Fords do? Oh man, we're going to have to pay more money out of this. Let's stop this. Here goes our
Yeah,
profit
what the
margin.
fuck
Here
are
goes
you
our profit
thinking?
margin. We can't do this.
Well, in the season that they didn't too, that was the season when they struggled early, but then finished the year with like 8 wins and ended up, I think, at 500 or something like that. So, I mean, even that was like momentum built at the end of the season, and then next season they did make the playoffs. So it's like, well, I mean, even the year that they didn't make the playoffs, they were trending in the right direction. But
But I mean,
no,
this
we can't have that.
This ownership has a history of doing shit like that. I mean, Jim Caldwell got him to 500, and then he was
Jim
fired.
Schwartz, you mean?
Yeah, Jim Schwartz. Yeah, Jim Schwartz got him to 500, and he was fired, so the Caldwell could come in,
Yeah.
which obviously worked out all right. But my point is that
I mean, Caldwell-
he actually had the Schwartz had the team going in the right
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah, Caldwell kind
He
of
laid the
benefited.
foundation, and then
Yeah.
Caldwell just took it over to
Right. And,
boost it up even more.
right, and took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And then, oop,
Yeah, it's like
what
the Mark,
the fuck are you thinking?
It's like the Mark Jackson, Steve Kerr thing, except for it didn't result in rings. But, you know, the team was made here, and then, oh, we don't want you anymore. Oh, this guy comes in. Holy crap, we're amazing. Wow, this is great.
Yep. And it's funny how many times that happens.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
unbelievable.
Exactly.
That does. So, well, I think that will put a wrap on this episode of awesomeness. Please come back and join us for more frivolity and hijinks in the next episodes. We can talk about more sports. I know the Avalanche are starting to get injured, so things are looking like normal on course for this year as well. So that will help my mental psyche, especially after today.
And he didn't even watch the conference.
No, like I told these guys, I already know what they're going to say because I've watched your guys' team and I've watched this whole thing for years and years. And I knew exactly, almost word for word, what was going to happen without the whole Peacock thing that he did.
Yeah.
Which actually was totally blew me off guard. But I was expecting they were going to say, "Oh, it's a tough decision, and we're going to try to do the best we can with what we got." And, but it's the same
No, we're
spiel
gonna go
of
ahead
we
and throw
suck.
some gasoline on the fire by telling people we're not spending any money to bring anybody in either.
Yeah. This guy here lit the match and just freaking blew up the bridge. I mean, it was unbelievable of what he did today, and it's showing. And I hope all the press in Denver and everybody else just keeps riding on him through
That was
wherever
the best,
until he sells. Until he sells.
That was the best part of the whole thing to me, is that those guys from the press stuck his feet in the fire all day long, telling him about this, asking him about that. Oh, I bet you'd like to see us leave.
Yeah.
And good
yeah.
for them.
And then his yes man, the GM Bridich is going to sit here because this guy writes my checks. I'm going to go, oh yeah, we think Dick's got the right thing in the hole.
We're trying to do what we think is right.
Yeah, so he's there because again, once he gets fired, they're gonna go, "Oh, you GM the Rockies." Oh Jesus, and proof's in the pudding, wasn't there? So
Nope.
So, hey, can't wait for spring training. Woo! Let's go. But anyway, if you guys want to pound that subscribe button, just like the owner pounded us today, just hit the crap out of that thing. Give some likes, without the middle finger. Would be good too as well. If you want to leave some comments, we'll sit there and give you a snow job as well, just like the owner did today, of how great things are, and this channel is the best thing in the world. And we'll just go from there. Mm-hmm. All right? I am Don.
We're here for you.
Yeah.
Oh, Steve.
Buff you, Bridich.
Buff you, Bridich from Tuned In Sports. Thanks for joining us this evening for this awesome, spectacular evening to see how pathetic this organization is.
Couldn't miss it.
It joins right into the ranks of everybody else now. So
Couldn't miss
welcome
it.
to hell.
Yeah.
Typical Denver, Detroit sport.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and we will catch you later.